Legionnaires of the Lariat! Welcome back to another episode of I Still Call the Lariat. I am your host, Michael Wright. With me, as always, is my tag team partner, Steven Zapf, wherever you are on the screen, Steven. And we are here to do our predictions for WWE's 2025 Wrestlepalooza. Steven, how are we doing tonight?
I'm kind of excited for this. The WWE is bringing on a big show for this one because this is the start of the ESPN era.
Dun, dun, dun.
So they're bringing it heavy. Not to mention they're doing this all to, let's face it, mess with AEW.
Yeah, that's their total strategy with everything that they're doing right now. They are constantly televising or whatever you want to counter programming.
Counter programming.
And so going that route is something they want to do. WWE knows that they're a competitor. I love when people say WWE doesn't think that they're a competitor. Yes, they do. They're the number 2 promotion, and no matter what size or how you see yourself, the number 2 is always a competitor to number 1. So here we are. I do want to apologize, everybody. I am not at my normal setup, as you can tell. So if my voice quality is subpar, blame Steven. It's all his fault. He did not.
It's all my fault.
All the audio equipment with me on my travels. So here we are. So tell me, Steven, what are you most excited for?
You know what? I don't care that we're gonna have the same answer on this one. Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer. That's the match.
You know, that match is gonna be fantastic. I'm most excited for Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre.
Really, I'm actually surprised it's a different answer on this one.
Yeah, Vaquer and Io is going to be a fantastic show. But let's be real. I absolutely love Drew McIntyre and his work. I constantly champion him. I think Cody and he will put on a fantastic match for this, and we'll kind of see what happens as we get into that preview. Let's start with yours, Steven, on where we're at. So tell me, give me the breakdown of Io versus Stephanie.
Io versus Stephanie. So this is a match that has come about because Naomi is obviously with child, so she has to take time away. So they vacated the title. So selfish.
Just kidding.
No, good job. I actually almost hoped that the whole idea of her being pregnant was a work at one point. It would have been such a heel move, especially if when she did it, she turned on Jimmy even. Like, how heel would that have been if she had been like, I'm not pregnant. Oos can't do that. Like, can't get it done.
What's it called? Now you're going full telenovela. I know that there's a partnership with AAA, but you're going full telenovela right
now. But no, I'm really excited for this match. These are 2 of the best women wrestlers in the world today, as far as I'm concerned, at least in the ropes. Between the ropes, I can't think of 2 women that are better than these 2. Stephanie Vaquer is just coming on hot lately. And I almost feel like because of what has happened, they unfortunately had to cool her down a little bit because of Naomi's pregnancy. They like almost like pulled her off of TV a little bit, and I don't know. I'm excited to see her get back here. I do think that this is Stephanie Vaquer's time. I think the plan was maybe to give her the title no matter what, but we'll see.
I don't buy that. I don't think she was going to win this.
Really, because I almost think it would have been a trade back and forth thing.
No, I don't think they do that. I think that Naomi was built to have a decent run. I think they threw everything out the window when they got the news of their wonderful, wonderful news. And so I think that Vaquer would have lost that. Though what I've learned in the world of wrestling is if you were going to lose it and then we were going to switch things around, I'm with you. I think Stephanie wins this title here as well, because that's not what their initial plans were, and this is just how they roll in that kind of guise. So I think we have a situation where Io and Stephanie are going to put on a very, fantastic match. But I think that you do get Stephanie a little early, in all honesty. I actually think this is her work rate and her abilities just catapulted her to the top.
Heck yeah.
No response to that.
No response. I think I honestly I think Io Sky like I said, Io always puts on good work. We've been high on Io for a long time. And Stephanie, I think Stephanie's a different animal too. She's a little bigger than the rest of the girls in the than most of the girls in the division. Like obviously not the Nia Jax and the Rhea Ripleys, but like she sits in that in between size of like Io to like Rhea. And I think that gives her, as athletic as she is and as much as she flies, it gives her this little bit of cushion to also do some power stuff and make it a little bit more believable. So I do think this is going to be Stephanie's time. I think Io was getting pulled away from the title picture. And honestly, I could see Io getting put into the tag team situation with Rhea more than going after the actual world title. And it kind of keeps both of them out of the world title picture for a little bit of time, at least. This way, you don't just see the women's world title and you're like, well, why isn't Rhea Ripley there? Why isn't Io Sky there? Well, it's because they're off doing this.
Then who challenges? Let's say everything we said is right. Stephanie wins this. Who's her first challenger if these guys go over and they start feuding with Asuka and Kyrie? Like, what's the move here?
Judgment Day. Roxanne and Liv and Raquel Rodriguez. I think all three of them.
Well, Liv's not back yet, right? When did she come?
Liv's not back yet, but she was at least at the event. Like she was at the she was at the press conference, so I think she should be coming back soon.
Okay, that makes sense. So, yeah, I hadn't heard anything about her timetable. I could see Liv coming in here and having a great situation here. Rest of the Judgment Day feels very lackluster in this spot. They just haven't been built for this after losing the tag team titles. Like if they were still hot with the tag team titles, and then there was a screw job to keep them strong, but they both got beat twice essentially. So that's the way I kind of look at that. So I would like to see a good competitor, but you have the Intercontinental title pulling people away, which has actually been a fun kind of storyline in that aspect of things. Though it does kind of open up Bayley at this moment in time because you're going to see Becky versus AJ soon enough. But so you have Lyra could come into this picture.
I think Lyra could.
So there's a lot coming down the pike that I can fill this void, and then we'll let Stephanie have it. Not until Naomi gets back, because you're talking about
a year. Yeah.
So in that situation, we'll see how it all goes. It gets my full stamp of approval. I think Io is the perfect competitor for Stephanie to get over and be like, she is a main event tonight.
I completely agree.
Well, we got for the next match we have a tag team matchup here. No titles, but just a tag team matchup. We have the Usos versus the Vision, the Braun Brawns. And what I am expecting to be an incredibly fun match. This is another one that I'm really excited about. Having the Usos back together is going to be a lot of fun in this situation. Brian Breaker and Bronson Reed are going to come out there with all the power, but then you're going to see 11 billion super kicks, I think, if I'm counting correctly, and that's a real number. Don't question it. And you're going to see a bunch of spears, all the spears. I'm still waiting for Bronson Reed to throw a spear.
And you're going to see a bunch of splashes.
Yeah, a bunch of smoke drops.
They're just drops at that point.
Yeah, they're just drops. Unless Braun does it, then it works. The LeBron Breaker. Son. I'd say 7. Like, is that clear? Is everybody following? So I think this is going to be a fast-paced match. I do not think this is going to be anywhere close to the longest match of the night.
No,
I think this is something you're talking about 8 to 12 minutes.
I was gonna say 12.
Yeah,
12. I think 10 to 12.
and unfortunately, I think Jay takes the pin here. Oh, sorry, Jimmy
I
takes the pin.
I do think that the Vision wins this match. I'm agreeing with you. That was actually one of the semi limbs I was going on. I think this goes more with, I don't know why I have this idea about Jay going heel, or at least not being face, but it feels like that pull is coming, and that
I disagree with you, but that's fine. I don't think that he's too over for them
I think
to
so too,
do
but
that.
I don't know. There's just something about what they're doing with them. What they're doing with them seems like they're like, well, let's see if it almost seems like what they're doing is like, well, let's see if we can get him a little less over so that so that this heel turn could work.
Yeah, I don't see it. Uh, I see the less over. I think what they're doing right now is they're setting up Breaker to go up against Roman. So you probably have Breaker beating Jimmy in this situation. It keeps Jay strong. It's really good at taking the pin here. They will make them look big. Like they'll probably take Bronson Reed out of commission completely somehow. Like get something in there. But then you see the Usos. I bet you see Roman at the end of this match. After match shenanigans, Bronson Reed hits a tsunami extracurricular, and then you get Roman coming down, fears everybody, Superman punches Breaker or something like that, and that sets them up to go head to head.
Well, and also let's look at this if they were so inclined to actually build up their tag team division, which we know they're not, but I'm just saying the Vision wins this. The Braun Brawns win this. They're beating the Usos, the longest
Mm-hmm.
reigning tag team champions in like the modern era or history, whichever one it is. But they do that. If that cements you as what could be considered a main event tag team, if you wanted to make tag teams a main event again. So if they wanted to go down that road, that now they have that option at least. I don't think they do, but it's an option at least. I wish they would.
Yeah, 100%. I think that Braun Breaker has a lot of tag team potential. He obviously has all of that lineage. He had that great tag team with Corbin. So I think that they could do that. And Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker have that kind of feel to them. It's just being like juggernauts in there, where you could feed them New Day. You could feed them a lot of people without them like losing too much of it. The Judgment Day would just be decimated. But I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're setting Braun Breaker up to be a single star. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they were afraid to put those two in a legitimate tag team with the idea of we have no exit here.
Exactly.
Like they may never lose these titles again. Obviously, joking, but it's one of those situations where it's like, what's the plan? Like it
They'll
literally,
lose to Pretty Deadly.
obviously, because that's how we do things around here. After being screwed by Heyman, um, the yeah, like so, I just don't see the exit strategy for that, and I think that they're afraid once they open that can, it's hard to put the lid back on it because he'll be so good in that role, and in one of those situations, and they saw it. You saw it in the next day. So it's not like it's like a theory. It's like we were all when he came in, we were shocked that he didn't just team up with Corbin.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you said, it's just a cool scenario. Again, like I said, it's just another road that they can go down. They have so many options. This show alone, it's built pretty nicely. I
Mhm.
know we say, what do we have? We have 5 matches on this one. We say all the time about these 5-match cards, but this is a pretty nicely built 5-match card for their opening for ESPN.
Still would like 1 to 2 more matches. that are solid matches. That's all. Like maybe another title match in here that matters. Because you have the women's title, you have the undisputed title. Maybe like one of the mid card title. Like I would love to see Dominic Mysterio on this card.
You mean double belt Dom?
Double belt Dom. Best Mysterio? Is that the most talented Mysterio? No, best Mysterio of all times. I don't know how to say that. And so in that situation, like that would be a great one in here. Even if he was defending the AAA title, like that would be kind of fun
That
to
would be kind of
really
cool.
cement the fact that he won that, and here we are against Mr. Iguana or something like that. No, not Mr. Iguana, but like someone for real. Honestly, what would be kind of cool is him versus Ray for that title, and actually have Dom go cleanly, unlike the way they've done it all. Which I hope they build to that. Like, I really want to see Dom versus Ray in a match that matters, that Dom goes over clean without getting punked out. Because it has to happen.
For the mask.
You imagine
Mask versus hair.
mask versus hair. I feel like it also had to be a retirement match and a title. Literally, like I could see not
Everything
to
is on the
derail.
line.
Yeah, not to derail, but I could see the two of them getting into it and trying to one up the other. Like Dom saying, like, "I want the man," like having uh, Ray say, "I want the hair," and him saying, "I want the mask." All right, if you want the mask, then you have to put the title on the line. If you put the title on the line, you have to put your career on the line. And like literally, like just the thing where whoever gets to the top of the baseball bat first is the winner of that one. And that would be it's all like literally everything's on the line. It's too funny. All right, let's move on to what's honestly I gotta imagine this is probably gonna be the worst card on the match, which goes back to your point of this being a really well constructed card. But we have the intergender tag match of CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. The reason I say probably the worst on the card because I actually hate the way they run uh, gender matches where as soon as one person tags out, you have to tag out. So that's always really annoyed me because like a hat tag essentially is nullified in that situation. And you know AJ Lee, this is the perfect way for her to re-debut. Been out of the game for so long. They signed her to a real contract. This isn't one of those we're going to see her on limited appearances. Like she's going to be a main factor. And so Stephen, this is actually I feel like I started already reviewing this. Why don't you jump in?
So I had heard this theory, and I agree with this. I think this match needs to be a fight. And by a
Mhm.
fight, I don't mean they need to get a bunch of kendo sticks and they need to get a bunch of furniture. I don't mean any of that. If this match starts off with a lockup, though, it's the wrong start to this match.
Mhm.
This is a real feud. This is as close to a blood feud as you're going to get. And this feels like an old school territory feud almost. It's a guy and his wife against a guy and his wife, and they have a real score to settle right now. Like this is a pro wrestling feud. This is a real pro wrestling feud. And it's the only difference is instead of it being maybe a valet or something like that, these are four actual wrestlers that are getting in there. And I think even for AJ Lee's return, the idea of her being crazy is even better by them getting into just a fight. And so I think that's the best bet here. I think even Punk and Rollins, their animosity needs to turn it into a bit of a hockey fight in the match. I think that's where this match needs to go. And at the end of the day, I think it's going to be Punk and AJ Lee. I don't see having AJ Lee lose on a return. I think Becky takes the pin, and I think it sets up AJ for AJ versus Becky in a longer run for the women's intercontinental title.
Yeah, I think I have a brand new match. I just came up with this. They are going to put a stipulation on it as a Chicago no rules showdown. So yeah, that's it. Brand new match. No one's ever seen anything like this in the. No, I 100% agree with you. He seemed unsure about it. I'm very sure CM Punk, AJ win this match. What it allows is both of them to be the next number one contenders all in one fell swoop. It sets up AJ versus Becky, sets up CM Punk versus Seth. Having the challengers beat the champions just legitimizes everything. I could see either Seth or Becky winning this. I think it will devolve into absolute mayhem. There's no reason why it shouldn't. Really getting into a place where it does start, even if it, I agree with you, it shouldn't start with a tie up. Like it should start off much more heated. But as long as it devolves into like the ref can't keep order, he threatens to throw them out, like get rid of this match. Uh, I would hate for them to do a double DQ. That would be really annoying. All in all, I think you're right on all accounts here. Punk and Lee, they win this. It just makes the most sense in this situation. Particularly the way, like, if I think you might be right on this card construction. The picks, though, I think Cody and Drew probably main event rather than Cena and Brock. But as we giving us a little insider baseball, everybody, we have a show doc, and Steve puts in the show doc, and we review it in the order that we put it in here. And we try to guess what's going to be the main event and whatnot. But this is kind of the way we have it scheduled to play out, and this is one of those matches that fits really well in the middle. The way you have it constructed, we have it's kind of a face versus face. First, you have the Vision winning, and then you have the second tag team match. I can see them mixing it up maybe a little bit, but this is kind of the way I see it going down, and it really flows as a show well if it's constructed this way. So yeah, I agree. Next on this list, we have the Undisputed WWE. Mr. Kyle? Is this actually Kyle? Does he come down dressed as
Does he
Kyle?
come out with the hair?
I hope so. We have the Cody Rhodes, the champion, defending against Drew McIntyre. I'm incredibly excited about this match. These guys have two styles that I really like. I think they mesh really well together. I feel like there's not been enough Cody versus Drew in the past, but I kind of think that like if this was 10, 15 years ago, you would create two wrestlers in these styles to go up against each other, like to feud for their entire career. And we haven't even really scratched the surface of what could be the potential between these two. I think that you're going to see so many crossroads. I think you're going to see so many kicks to the face. You're going to
So
see
many claymores.
like it's going to be like it's going to
Like
be
Cody's going to
everywhere.
hit a claymore.
Cody may hit a claymore. I could see McIntyre hitting a Cody cutter as well. And it's
God,
just like
please no.
it was great. Like I could see those type of things happening in this situation. So that's so that's really why I was so excited about this match. I think this one probably will go about 18 minutes, maybe even longer, because it has that kind of draw. I know that there's other things in this card that can overshadow this match, but once this match gets underway, it's one of those that has that like chemistry and feeling of just getting sucked in, and that the whole time everyone's going to be just glued to their seats, not or on their feet either way, trying to figure out how to get out of this match and take their eyes off of it because it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Uh, and with that, I don't know if this is
Bananas.
what, yeah, it's going to be bananas. I don't know if this is what you were talking about, Steven, on being a little bit uh, adventurous with your picks. But I think I got to go with Drew on this one.
I
I
also
think
need
he's
to go with
going to
Drew.
win this match.
I
Uh,
think I think Drew wins this match. I think it makes sense for Drew to win this match.
CM Punk's not there to screw him because he is somewhere else. I think that Cody probably needs a little bit more time to film his movie. I think that I've learned that Cody is really good chasing the belts. And not that he needs to complete his story. I think you'll see Cody be world champion multiple more times over the rest of his career. But what a great moment in time to pay off all of what Drew has done over the last 2 years, and to change the title at Wrestlepalooza on ESPN to make that big impact. Really, one of those. This is one of those cards where it's like, yeah, okay, we know that there's going to be a new champion with the first one. Things will play by the numbers. Cody will win, and we'll move on. But really, the shock upset would be Drew winning this title and then going on a reign of dominance. Like
Yeah,
I
like
want to see them
he needs
build
to
him
hold
up.
this
Yes,
title. Like if he held this title until Mania, that would make sense to me.
yeah. And honestly, I would love to see the rematch of this Cody versus McIntyre at Mania and Drew retain. I don't think he would. I think when we get to April, I'll pick Cody in that situation, depending on what happens so far in the future. Who knows? But it could be one of those situations where like him retaining catapults Drew into one of the new legendary uh, champions, and like one of those people that will be looked at like Orton's looked at today, or like I don't want to say Cena. Like it's really hard to compare anybody to people like Cena and Austin and The Rock, but like the Cody's, like the Seths, like really bringing him up, the Punks, bringing him up to that top tier with the tier having kind of a big walk. I just don't think wrestling's nearly as popular now as it was back then, or at least like it's popular. A lot of people are watching it, but like I feel like the Attitude Era was just something different.
It's different how wrestling fans are now. We
Yeah,
like we just want to cheer, like wrestling fans just want to cheer about everything. Hence the crowd is heels,
the heels. They don't want to cheer about everything. Like they will cheer McIntyre.
especially when he wins. I really hope we're right on this one. This is one of those times where I hope we're not just because of picks, but I want Drew to win this.
Man, that means I think that we're going to have another 100% the same thing because I don't see how you're going to pick differently than me in the next one. But yeah, so I'm super pumped. This is my match. Like, I want this to be match of the year caliber. Like, this really has that kind of potential that if they put in the actual work to put together a unique and amazing match, I think that this could be one of WWE's best matches of the year, randomly on Wrestlepalooza. So it's just the most
I think they're
ridiculous thing.
trying to make this show. They might not ever do a Wrestlepalooza again, but I think they're really
I
trying to make this one show awesome for ESPN. And the fact of the matter is, I heard this and it makes me laugh. I know ECW used to use this name too. I hate this name.
It's the
I
worst.
I get it. Like it'd be like if they were like, hey, let's call it Wrestle Rock.
Wrestle stuff. Yeah, look at me. If you just put wrestle in front of stuff, it makes it cooler. There's only one wrestle. It's wrestling. Come
Yeah, it just it just doesn't work. Like I get
on.
it. Lollapalooza was cool or is cool or whatever wherever it sits in the world nowadays.
We
Leave
don't. We're not hip.
I'm not hip. But like just leave it alone, man. Leave it alone. They could have called it anything else. They could have made it anything that because it's an indie. They could and I know this is going to be a one-off on the name for the pay-per-view. They could have called it anything that has to do with indie, but they
Do you
didn't.
know what would have been a really like now like taking a step back and looking at this card? Do you know what name would have been great like as a throwback name? No Mercy.
No Mercy would have been a good one. Except
No Mercy would
no,
have been
I
great.
think I think NXT still uses No Mercy.
Do you think, as most people listen, no, I don't follow NXT that closely. I didn't really,
At least
I
they
didn't know.
were. Because
Yeah,
they even did the one they did the one PLE for No Mercy where they actually did the video game No Mercy opening.
that's great.
It
I
was
love that game.
amazing.
That game was so good. All right, well, let's move on to what you here have as the main event. Maybe you'll kind of switch these around a little bit. But we
Maybe.
have John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, like it was 2014. Hey, Steven, tell me about this.
The only thing I have questioning on who's going to win this is if they're going to run it back at all. And if they're running it back, I would say that Lesnar is winning this match. But I don't know if they are. I don't know what kind of contract they've got with Lesnar going forward. I don't know if there is a contract with Lesnar moving forward. I haven't read that much into that. But what I will say is that the winner of this match should be Jean-Baptiste Cena. It
French Canadian.
should be. It should absolutely be John. If this is going to be the last time he's facing Brock, he needs to come out on top over Brock. Now, if they're running it back, it should be Brock Lesnar because it needs to be like, well, even on your retirement tour, you couldn't take me out. And Brock needs to end up being his last match at that Saturday night's main event.
I don't want to see that. I have no interest in what you're talking about right now at all. I know that you're not saying that's what you want to see, but I don't want to see it. This, I know what I've heard about Brock's contract is that it's for select dates, so it's not a full contract. It's not like what they did with AJ Lee. So he's only here for a couple things. The way I see that is he's here to lose this match to Cena. I think he's here maybe to lose to Drew McIntyre after he gets that, and then a couple run-ins along the way, and kind of go that route. I really don't see him coming back full time until everything else extracurricular is said and done. So that's what, and like we have so few remaining matches for Cena, and like I've already wasted one on Logan Paul. So like multiples on Logan Paul because he was in tag matches, he was here and there. Like let's move on. Let's get Cena with people that I really want to see. I would love to see his last match for the undisputed WWE title against Drew McIntyre. Like that would be awesome.
That'd
and like
be
talk
really cool.
about giving the man a rub and go in that route. Like that's something. That's what I want Cena's last match to be. Is it doesn't have to be a passing of the torch like we've seen with other big moments like that, but kind of help it build somebody up. Like it's different. Like it's not like he's handing the keys over to someone like McIntyre. But like the business is yours now, and he's already done that with Cody essentially. In this whole clinic he already ran with Cody. So in my mind, having something where like we talk about McIntyre winning this, beating Cena in his last match, that's great. I would love to see like honestly Dominic Mysterio. I would love to see him beat Cena in his last match.
That would be fun.
I do not need Cena going over on Brock Lesnar in his last match. It just doesn't make sense or doesn't matter. It doesn't provide.
I agree. I'm just looking at it from what they could possibly be looking at it from. But I think you've talked me into it. I'm going Cena.
Oh, I had to talk you. I thought you were going that way. Anyway. Yeah,
I was pretty much going that way. But you put the nail in the coffin. Sorry, wrong show. There's no coffin match on this one.
Yeah, not
that's
this
the
one.
other. That's the other show that day.
Yeah, we're counter programming.
We are also counter programming. I mean, is it counter programming if the other show moves their time slot like a scaredy cat?
Yes. Like that, like they wouldn't have moved that time to a less opportune time if it wasn't for the fact that this was here. This is them winning without even trying. So this is a dope card. So like, it's not like they threw something terrible together just to counter program. They put together something great, and there's just no chance for AEW to compete with a match like this with the popularity that WWE has. I think that looking at that other card, there's going to be a lot of great matches on that other card, and I think you're going to have a great day of watching wrestling if you watch start to finish both of them. But I don't think that there's a situation where they would have won the head-to-head rating matchup in this scenario.
I agree. Yeah, so I'm going Cena. You're going Cena. I think it's going to be for someone like myself who's going to watch all of this live. It's going to be a long day of watching wrestling.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch any of it live.
I know it.
I'm going to be super jet lagged too.
I know it.
So everybody, that was Wrestlepalooza. If you guys think we're right, think we're wrong, do us a favor, comment in the comment section below. Tell us why we're crazy. Tell us why, I don't know, why EO would win. I guess that's one of the coin flips in this. If you tell us you think the Usos are, but please tell us what you're thinking. Like and subscribe. Please share along. Tell a friend. If you don't have any friends, tell a stranger. And Steven?
As always, guys, remember, tuck your chin when you bump.